Getting up and down consistently when throwing upshots will shave strokes off of just about anyone's game. It's also important to make sure you can throw upshots both backhand and forehand. This time for my quick tip, I'm focusing on throwing consistent forehand upshots. The most consistent disc for a forehand approach will almost always be something slow and overstable. Technically, a forehand approach can be thrown with any disc, but results may vary. Most players like to have an overstable disc for that shot because if there's any wobbles or inconsistency in the release, the overstable disc will forgive that more and not lose as much accuracy as a less stable disc. A slow disc is better than a faster one at short ranges because of the ground play. A faster disc with the sharper edge is much more likely to catch an edge and skip or roll away from its intended destination. While you certainly can get some skips with slower discs, in general they will have much less ground play and be much more consistent. For me, the problem with a lot of slower discs is the dome. Some players don't mind a domier disc for their forehands, but personally, I just can't get a clean release. That's why the Justice is such a good disc for me. It's got a nice flat top and a really consistent release for my forehand approaches. Plastic type also makes a bigger difference than you'd expect when accuracy is at a premium. Some players will go for the most durable plastic for their approach discs because it will maintain its flight characteristics for longer and they can be more confident in its flight. But personally, especially with forehands, I rely on getting maximum grip. That's why for me, I found a Justice in the classic blend plastic and it has been my go-to since I found it. If I ever lost it, I would probably throw one in the prime plastic. Personally, I like the slightly less overstable flight because for the Justice, it's a little bit more workable, and a lot of players throw the Justice in the biofusion plastic for that reason. Also, the thing about slow discs not skipping as much doesn't really apply to the Justice. In lucid plastic, this disc will flare, but that's why I like it in the blend or the prime. As far as technique for throwing upshots, the key is not to get the nose too far down. For drives, getting the nose down is super important because popping the nose up slows the disc down a lot. But for upshots, slowing the disc down is kind of the goal, so popping the nose up can help a lot with touch. To do this, it actually helps to lower the release point. This means you're effectively throwing the disc at the ground and air skipping it, so it creates this kind of floaty flight. This will help too if you like throwing less overstable discs for your upshots, as the nose up flight will make them more overstable. When throwing shorter shots, it can be tempting to get lazy with the backswing for the forehand and kind of reach out to the side rather than back. For me, this instantly means that I'm going to yank the shot to the left of my target. So while my backswing doesn't go back as far, I definitely always make sure it's still directly away from the target. Personally, I use the same grip as my drives for forehand upshots. I don't have any issues powering down and still getting a clean release, but some players like to switch it up to a fan grip. This is where they spread their fingers out and have one on the rim and the other one a little farther towards the middle. For me, the other finger farther in makes wobbly shots a lot more likely and reduces consistency a lot, but it helps some players, so maybe give it a shot and see what happens. Anyways, this has been Danny's quick tips for disc golf audio. Pop into the Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook group and let me know which disc you prefer for your forehand upshots. And if you don't have one, I'd recommend checking out the Justice.